What's up, Vincent? Valentine EX Turk, King of the Night 57, sorry. I stayed in reverse, I'm not really feeling too good. And I'm having some car problems, you know, I scratched my car. I'm still depressed as fuck about it. I'm not even going to stream, but I'm at least give you some quality content. So, we're going to be taking two characters that are similar. Now, the other character is from the anime, but there is a video game adaptation. Ace from One Piece is actually have a game called One Piece Burning Blood. So we're taking pretty much all the stuff he knows in the video game. Which I don't think there's going to be very much because he does die in the anime. I mean, I got as far as to even a little bit after he dies. So I got at least somewhat decent. So you know, I got into some decent parts of the show to see what he can do. And sorry, you anime fan talk, he's not no Yonko level. But same thing with Tidus. Tidus is not no god level neither. Now both have tragic endings. Ace dies by the Admiral of in One Piece. Well, one of the admirals. I forgot who the admiral is. Tidus dies because he's actually an illusion created. Pretty much, Tidus is the soul of a man named Shurian who lived in Xanark 1,000 years ago. Jack's true son is Shurian, but Shurian's 1,000 years old. After Tidus died, Shurian came back, and then after Shurian got the rest, depending on how you get the ending, Tidus comes back. But Tidus is actually just a spirit, just like how Oron is technically. So, and it was only a memory of Shurian, so they both died tragically. Now, they're both a lot like. Now, I gotta say, when it comes to, like, fastness and stuff like that, I'd have to say they're both on equal term, because if you play Dissidia, you know, you get to see, one thing I like about the Dissidia game is now we get to see what the Final Fantasy characters can actually do as feats, and Tidus is very fast. You gotta admit, Tidus is very fast. He would be able to keep up with Ace's speed as well. And they're both opposite elements. Now, what would make Ace weaker than Tidus would be the fact that Ace focuses on fire and Tidus focuses on water, but they're both kind of similar characters to a little bit of a T. Now, Tidus was a little whinier in the beginning, but you know, they're both kind of similar characters, you know. And both of their series takes place at sea, so, you know, a little bit of pirate culture goes in both series. Now, you know, besides all of that, you know, I think to start off with, I'm gonna start with Tidus' speed. Tidus is fast. He has he can use water strikes. You know, he can use water strikes with his blue sword. He can use a blitz ball as his weapon. He can use slice and dice limit break, which does a spiral cut. You know, he can do any of those things. Now, I don't remember everything Tidus can do, but Tidus got a few limit breaks involving swords and water, depending on the sword you equip. So, pretty much Ace could be weak against that as well. So, it could be possible Ace could actually lose, you know, a lot away from that. So I think it's possible that, you know, I think it's quite possible that it could be a weakness. But then again, Ace is super fast too. As a matter of fact, he could be a little bit faster than Tidus and get a burn on Tidus. But then again, Tidus does know some magic. And he can use white magic, as you've seen in Final Fantasy X, where he's able to do haste. So it's not impossible for Tidus to learn Cure. And then there's potions, and you know, and the fact that he's took on, you know, some of the Aeon, Sin, his father as Braska's final Aeon, and different variations of Sin, and as well as Seymour in different forms. So Tidus is very strong. When it comes to brute strength, I'd have to give it to Tidus, you know. But when it comes to fastness, I'd have to give it to Ace, just because I've seen as much as I know about One Piece, as much as I've seen Ace go a little faster. So when it comes to speed, I have to give the speed to Ace. Now, when it comes to brute strength, I'd have to give it to Tidus, since Tidus has fought deities like Yu Yevon, Sin, his father is Braska's Aeon, and god variations of Seymour, you know, and even regular Seymour, who had at least a bit of a power of a god in the first place. So you gotta take those in consideration to this actual matchup, you know. Now, when it comes to magic, that's gonna be really hard because, you know, Ace, I would count Ace's fire stuff that probably comes from a devil fruit. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. But do it politely, no rude or trolling. But you know, Ace does have some magic from the devil fruit that he ate, which makes him use the fire he has. But when it comes to water versus fire, it don't matter. It don't give a difference. No matter what Ace actually does, it really does not give a difference. You know, Ace would use the same kind of style that Jack would use. Like, Jack uses fire at the end of his sword, but Tidus uses water. Water is always gonna beat fire, irregardless of how powerful you are. So when it comes to tactical advantages and magic level, I gotta say his tactician skills are higher than Ace, and his magical skills are higher than Ace. Based off Tidus is exactly the exact right element to take on Ace's flash fire. Considering the fact that Jack uses flash fire in his strikes into Dissidia. Now, yes, technically, even though technically, that Tidus never fought his father Jack as a regular human in the Final Fantasy X game, but he still used fire-based attacks in the Braska Final Aeon mode. And I think that's where they got the attacks for Jack and Dissidia. But Jack uses fire, which is a weakness against water. It's just nature, you know. Light destroys darkness. Fire, water destroys fire. Unless there's a grease fire. Unless somehow Ace brings some olive oil and pours it all over Tidus, then uses a fire ability, then Tidus is good as barbecue. But, he doesn't use olive oil in his weapons arsenal. So, unfortunately, when it comes to this magical skills, Tidus would win. Because fire water puts out fire. It does. Unless you have some Crisco or olive oil or any grease. Because grease fires, water makes it worse. So, but Ace doesn't use any of that stuff, and he never needed to, because his fire abilities were just as good as they are. In fact, he could actually pretty much really take out one of the admirals. Not the one that killed him, obviously, because, well, he died from that one, but the one, any other ones, like any weaker ones, he could take them down. They're pretty powerful, and he was trained by Whitebeard, one of the most ferocious pirates of the One Piece universe, so there's that going for him. But even then, Ace is fire. Flash fire. Tidus is water. Don't tell me. I don't care how strong Ace is. Don't fucking tell me that water can be beat by fire. I mean, you could boil the water, yeah, but still, even boiled water could put it out of fire. Because, you know, it's weak against water. You know, it's about the elements, bro. Like, really, sky is you know, ground is weak against sky. It makes sense. You know? It's one of those elemental type of things. So when it comes to elemental attacks, Tidus would win with his magic. For sure. So his magic and his tactician skills far surpass Ace's. Even though Ace has fought a lot more battles than Tidus, since he's older than Tidus. Even though Tidus is technically 1,000 years old, Tidus is the dream version, so he counts as a different human being. So at this point, really, Tidus is actually in his 20s, if you really think about it. He's actually in his 20s, if you really think about it. But even with Ace's fighting abilities and his skills and how much he's been in battles, you know, you gotta take in effect that Tidus has been in a few battles as well. He's been in a few battles, a huge portion of battles as well. You know, Tidus has took out Seymour, one of the best magic users who can use every kind of magic and can wield the power of Amina. And if you don't know who Amina is, it's his summon. And it's like a god summon, pretty much. Because, you know, Seymour's mom has became animal, which you just got to look at the lore for that. But nonetheless, you know. And that's just his human form. Tidus has fought god form versions of variants of Seymour. And Seymour Flux, which is the final god form of Seymour, is at least the power gauge of at least Safer Sephiroth. So pretty much, Seymour Flux could do a lot of damage. He has pretty much the same power level as fucking Safer Sephiroth, and Tidus defeated him. Now, if Sephiroth can blow up planets with one attack, and this dude has the same kind of powers to do so, he's just as strong as that, and then the main character beats him, and the main character is technically stronger than him, that means, even though Ace can take out Admirals, Ace can't really face gods. As at least the level of Sephiroth, who destroys fucking planets with an attack! With an attack! You know? But, I'm just not to say that Ace can't end this earlier on. If Ace would have got closer range to Tidus, I'm pretty sure Tidus would be screwed. You know, before the match begins. But, you know, I've seen how Ace fights, and he's more long range, which is kind of bad if you're long range, because assassin classes take out long range and slower characters. Assassins take out Vanguard and Marksman. You know, Vanguard being the heavy, slow characters, and as Marksman is only be projectiles, and Ace uses projectiles, which is his flames, that'd be bad. So I think in this death battle, I'd have to give this to Tidus. I have to give this to my boy Tidus, because his skills not only a little bit more, but just based off of Ace's fighting style compared to Tidus's. You know, now if Ace was smart enough, if he was smart at all, he would actually go straight up to Tidus and strike him before Tidus got any chance to move. Otherwise, it's over. The match will be actually over. And, you know, before it even begins. So, I gotta say it. Tidus would be the winner. And I'm not just saying it because I have a bias with Final Fantasy characters. Well, I guess I do have kind of a little bit of bias. I'm not gonna bullshit. I gotta quit bullshitting myself. I really do. But, you know, it's just a fun death battle, so it don't really matter who wins or not, you know. There could be an outcome, and then there's the best thing ever. Each of the characters could train and get stronger than the other. It's just like the argument with Goku versus Superman. One could train and get stronger than the other. So technically, you know, Ace could probably learn some new stuff that does not require fire, you know, and then beat Tidus. Or, you know, vice versa. Tidus gets beat, he goes out to train, gets stronger. So it's not like it can't happen. And this is just a fun death battle, so don't take it seriously. You know, this is from what I know. So may the crystal be with you. And I hope you enjoyed this. I haven't done no video game death battles, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So may the crystal be with you. I even re-downloaded the One Piece demo just to use for the footage.